Welcome to Grown Men Chopping It Up. This your boy J.R. Rydha, and I'm with my ace,
Kerry. I say Kerry with a K. This is a safe place for a grown-up after dark talk.
We'll give you a few minutes to put the kids to bed.
Because it's 21 and notice. 21 and notice. 21 and
Alright, let's get to it.
Alright, this is Grown Men Chopping It Up. We have no sponsor this week.
We're sponsored by no one.
Nobody loves us. But we have a serious, what was I going to say? A serious bunch of topics today.
Yeah, we have a serious topic. This is something I think that people are either going to take something from it, or they're going to take it personal, or they're going to be very opinionated about it.
Right. And fellas, please take this serious. Don't try to have this talk with your girl. Just play her the podcast.
Yeah, so this is some topics and stuff that you've been wanting to tell her forever and haven't had the balls to do it. We're going to help you out a little bit, as much as we can.
You can say they said it, I didn't.
Right. And you just play it and let her go.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're going to talk about today is women who date their sons, or fathers who date their daughters, or basically, and when I asked that, people kind of went crazy. I said, what does that mean to you? And girls was talking about, and guys were talking about, incest and nasty and this and that. I'm like, I think you're missing the point.
Right. You have to think more broad than that. You
have to think, yeah. So let's jump into this, man. Let's just bust these people in the head.
Okay, now the first thing I'm going to smack them in the skull with is what they call the Oedipus Complex.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to spell it out in case somebody wants to Google it.
Okay.
It's spelled Oedipus, and the next word is complex. Now, Oedipus was actually a person.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave that to y'all to look into. I'm going to just tell you what the complex is, but the jewel of it is you finding out who King Oedipus was in Greek mythology.
Okay.
Because a lot of you will identify with this. Now, I'm going to give you three definitions of the Oedipus complex read in different ways. Like, there'll be the urban version, the complex version, and the doctoral version.
Okay.
The first one is through psychoanalysis. Now, the Oedipus complex is the unresolved desire of a child for sexual gratification through the parent of the opposite sex, especially the desire of a son for his mother. This involves first identification with and later hatred for the parent of the same sex who is considered by the child as a rival.
Okay.
So it actually feeds into how the mother responds to a child with the Oedipus complex. She could either nurture it or treat it in a whole different way. But I'm going to read you the next definition, because it was thought of by Sigmund Freud. Now, Oedipus complex is a Freudian theory. The complex of emotions aroused by a young child, typically around the age of 4, by an unconscious sexual desire for the parent of the same sex. The term was originally applied to boys. The equivalent in girls is being called the Electra complex, because girls at some age wants to marry their fathers.
Okay.
And that's genuine. They really want to marry their fathers. They feel such a great affection toward the father. They don't know where it comes from. It's just natural.
Okay. I don't think my daughter wants to marry me.
My daughter said that. She was 6. She's like, Daddy, I'm going to marry you. I don't want to marry anybody.
Oh, yeah. My daughter was like, nah, I don't even like guys that look like you.
The last one is from the Urban Dictionary. The Oedipus complex is the subconscious urge that young males have to penetrate both of their parents, one with a sword, the other with a penis. So, but the way it plays out, as far as what I've researched, the way it plays out, and I know people that have this, is that the son identifies growing up with the mother. So the son grows up, he's breastfeeding, right? So the term is that he never stops breastfeeding.
Okay.
Like, he will actually go from being taken off the breast to being mentally on the teat still.
Okay.
So it's more like psychoanalysis. In his mind, his mother is his mate.
Okay.
So the male in the house becomes his enemy.
Okay.
And the child will go so far as to lie on this man. He'll tell the mother stuff like, I think he's against us. He's trying to take me away from you. And a mother can either go with this, which a lot of them do, or she can identify like, hey, my child has a problem. I'm not his girlfriend. I'm his mother.
Okay.
So she can either treat it or go with it. So there's a lot of young boys that go through this. There's a certain age between like 4 and 6 where the penis becomes very sensitive. It's like penis exploration. And what happens from 4 to 6 is that kids will identify sensations with it. And when in their mind, when they're thinking about stuff, who is the child's first sexual thought? Is mom. I've seen my mom naked. I've seen her titties. You don't see no other titties when you're 6. So that's what you have to go for. And so while he's thinking this, those feelings are stirred in him, and it moves on till 8, 10, 12. It like keeps going. But mothers see it as, oh, my son loves me so much, he tries to hug me. You know, his son's smacking you on the butt. He's putting his face between your titties. He's doing this for a reason. Okay. It's not because, oh, he loves you so much. It's because he's being nasty. The little fucker's being nasty. And this child has the Oedipus complex. The thing they teach you, I had sexual feelings toward my mother when I was 6, but she squashed it quick because my mother paid me no attention. She basically ignored my ass. So it's like she didn't return it. She didn't like hug me or cuddle or say, oh, I love you. I didn't hear a lot of that growing up. So I got out of that shit quick. That was like, you know, like a smack in the head. Like, nigga, get out of here. So it didn't affect me as long as it's affecting some of these children. Okay.
This shit is hella weird.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how to understand, but I do see that a lot. I mean, I think back to just little kids and, you know, that kind of attitude. My, you know, like your mom, they were basically gone a lot. Yeah. So there was really none of that. It was all, you know, my sister's friends that I wanted to poke.
Right. Me too.
So I had 2 sisters. So, you know, all my sexual energy as a kid went to them, and I was a little cute little brother. Yeah. So it was like, oh, he's so cute. They give you hugs, you grab the booty. Right, and, you know, you get your little feels and humps that way. So I guess we got saved in a way by our parents not being great parents.
Hey, thanks.
Woohoo! You hooked us up.
But that's the first half of my topic. The next one deals with the parents, but I'll let you go on to yours.
Okay. So basically, it's a quote. I don't know if you said it or somebody else said it. It said, "Women love to dress their kids like the men who left them."
Yeah, that was me.
And I think this is going into part of the problem with a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people in my limited experience on this planet. But what I see as one of the problems with when you're trying to raise a man or dating their kids. So you're dressing this kid as if he is grown. He's wearing Timberlands, he's wearing Jordans, he's had this look of the dude that you used to mess with. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. You gotta let kids be kids. Mm-hmm. You gotta keep them in a total separate category. The long hair. Every woman does this, is that they let their kids' hair grow so long, but you don't understand. You're putting female traits on your son. Yeah. Anytime a boy has to push his hair behind his ear, that's feminine.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? You're teaching him feminine traits. He's watching you do your hair. He's getting his hair done. Mm-hmm. You know, that's ridiculous. These kind of things are the reason why we're turning out so many little boys that are codependent. And that's why a woman can't raise a man. She has to have, it's not a woman raising a man. Anybody who does that is wrong. So, what I think about when it comes to raising kids and everything is I always think back to this story with my sons. You know, so we were in, you know, a bad neighborhood in San Francisco. It's not a horrible neighborhood, but it's not bad to me because I'm always there. My kids, you're not sitting in the house with adults. Get yourself outside.
Right, always.
My kids is outside playing, both my boys. And all of a sudden, after about 2 hours, my oldest comes in crying. And I'm like, oh, nah, we ain't raised no punk. You feel me? Like, why you coming in the house crying? And I'm like, man, you came up here and got beat up? Let's go. We going outside. I'm gonna beat they daddy up, and you finna beat them up. And they was like, no, he won. I was like, huh? But he had got so mad because the dude had disrespected his mom. So the little boy told him something like, I don't know, your mama got milk in her titties or something. And he beat the boy up. But he was so mad that the dude had disrespected his mom. So that was, that was the stuff that I put in him. Yeah, I'm a guy. But his mom, he had love for his mom that he didn't want nobody to disrespect. So I think that if you're a guy, if you're a girl, if you're whoever, and you're trying to raise a kid, I think you got to put in them what you need them to have in order to survive. Last one, I remember this. I was at the park with my kids, and I was teaching them how to flip off a swing. Mm-hmm. You remember how you swing a little bit, you lean your head back, and you flip over?
Oh, yeah, backwards.
It's pretty damn dangerous, right?
It's very, very dangerous.
So I'm teaching my kids how to do it. My boys, they're older than Imani, right? She's little. And so she's on the swing, and she's trying to do it. She flips. Halfway over her, she got her head, her legs go pick up too much speed, and she just goes flip over, and she lands flat on her stomach. Wow. Now, I'm watching this. She lands directly on her stomach and kind of bounce a little. That's my baby. That's my little girl. On the inside, I am screaming, right? Mm-hmm. But I look away. She looks around. She says, "This is one of my proudest moments as a dad." She says, "Oh, shake it off, shake it off," and she starts wiping the tan bark off of her, and she's shaking it off because my boys were in sports or whatever. So when they get hit and the air knocked out of them, I'd be like, "Shake it off, get back in there, stop crying, be a man," So, but those are examples to me as a dad, just trying to put what I think is important. And kids are going to take what they want from that. So that's just my little pre-rant.
I'm surprised that you identified the stuff at the playground as tan bark. Nobody knows that. Fucking tan bark.
It's tan bark.
I just say little dirt things or fucking wood chips.
Let me tell you how I know it's tan bark. I need fucking 8 million pieces of tan bark from my backyard. And I went to go buy it, and they sell it by the truckload. Wow. And I was like, why is it so expensive? This is just tan bark. And I want to just go to the hood and just scoop it out all the things, but they got wingworms in those.
Oh, yeah, you don't want none of that.
So, let's jump into my topic. So, I sent out a text, and I want people to kind of see where I'm going with this. The question was, how old was you when you cooked your first meal to eat for like you and the family? And this is women that I ask. Girl 1 said between 10 and 11. Right? The girl 2 said 12 years old. And so I asked her, because she has a son, I said, how old would your son have to be for you to let him cook? She said 15. Right? Girl 3 says she was 10. Girl 4 says she was 11. And I asked her if she had boys too. I said, what age did you let your boys cook? And she said 12-ish. Right? Girl 5 said she was in the 6th grade making macaroni and cheese. I said, what age would you let... She has a daughter. I said, what age would you let her cook? She said 13. Wow. Girl 6 said 5th grade. I said, when would you let your son... She has a son. I said, cook. She said never.
She don't trust him.
Then she laughed and said, I'll teach him soon. But my point was, in all of this, is that people baby their sons. They feel like they're not capable of doing what they did. So if they were cooking or something at a certain age, they feel like, oh no, my son's not he can't do that. I couldn't let him cook dinner. Right. I couldn't let him. What was the earliest you remember preparing food, like cooking on a hot stove?
8. 8.
So how old is your little son?
He's 8.
Would you let him cook?
No, I could. I've never showed him how to cook.
Exactly.
Because there's 2 older kids there that cook now too. So I think being responsible, I should, but the only reason I learned is because my mother wasn't there a lot.
Right. See, so this is my point. Like, we're helping. We're gonna help. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you have to give them the amount of responsibility you had, because you were only able to handle your responsibility because you got it.
Yeah.
You never would have been able. I didn't even get my driver's license until I was, 24 or 20. I didn't need one.
Right.
Every girlfriend I ever had a car.
Yeah.
So we lived in the city. Yeah. So they just picked us up and took us everywhere we got on the bus.
Right. Necessity is is the mother of invention.
It is. And so this is what I say. When are you good at something, right? Like when you first started doing your job, you wasn't great at it.
No.
Now you can do it in your sleep.
Eyes closed.
How many years experience do you have? A bunch. Mm-hmm. So if your son is 8 and you start teaching him how to cook now, how well will he be able to cook at 15?
Exactly.
And with boys, if you teach him how to cook, then he's not dependent on a woman to eat.
That's true.
You know how many dudes fuck with girls just for a hot meal?
Too many.
Like they don't even have an idea of how to put together a hot meal.
Yeah.
Like, but women don't want him to know how to put together a hot meal. Because you want to keep him underneath your titty.
Your teeth.
You want to keep him locked to the titty, so you have somebody you control. You couldn't control his dad, but you can control him.
Yeah.
When I hear a girl say, "Oh, my baby hungry, I'm about to go get him some food," and they baby 16 years old, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think I can count the amount of times my mama went and got me some food.
Whoa,
Wait. It never happened.
Never happened. Get out of here. Get you some food. If there wasn't no food in the house, you didn't eat.
Right. And I got a friend of mine who says that he is short because he didn't like what his family used to cook and he went to bed hungry.
Wow.
But I think if you go to bed hungry, if you got to figure out, I mean, how many times do you remember us in the house in San Diego and they left us and we ain't got nothing to eat?
Yeah.
And we sit there, what? Hot water cornbread?
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah. Or just a spoon of peanut butter.
Spoon of peanut butter? What else? Like at your house, does your kitchen ever close? Is the kitchen closed?
No, never. It's always, to the adults. It be closed to the kid. No, I'm kidding. The kitchen never closed. That's ridiculous.
But kitchen stayed closed because where we were.
Yeah, they were. I remember at Martin's house, it was closed.
You cook dinner, and hopefully, it's healthy.
Yeah.
Right? But that's it. Yeah. You ate what you were supposed to eat.
Yeah, or you didn't eat. Because kids nowadays feel like they can choose what to eat. Oh, I don't want to eat that. I never got that choice.
I've never given my kids even an option. It's not that, I'm like a mean dictator, like, oh, you can only eat what I tell you. Yeah. But as the parent who's paying for it, I'm going to give you what I think you should have.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to make a conscious effort to give the kids what I know they eat, but you can't. I'm not gonna let you choose. Like, hey, what do you want? What do you want for dinner?
Yeah,
I'm gonna just put it together and be like, okay, it's in here, so obviously somebody eats it,
right?
So it's like, look, we having this, and if you don't want that, that's what I'm cooking,
right? I'm
not gonna change my menu, because you want something else.
No.
Oh, I wanted some beef Wellington.
No,
fuck out of here.
Yeah, you starved to death, fucking with me. But the reason is, it's not for being mad. It's not being mean. It's not being evil. It's not being nothing. It's being a parent.
Yeah.
When you start drawing the lines on a parent, if you getting up and get your son, big greasy son, is at home playing video games, you get in your car, you drive to McDonald's and buy him some food and bring it back home and give it to him. What are you teaching him?
That you need your ass kicked.
Now, I'm not saying you can make the kid starve. Look, you don't want to cook. It's been a busy week. That's fine. You should. I'm finna give you some tips on how to survive with your son and help make him a man.
Yeah, stop acting like his woman.
Stop acting like his woman. A. B. You teach him how to make a few basic foods that are delicious. Yeah. Get yourself a George Foreman grill. It has been saving bachelor men since 1982.
Yes.
You get yourself a George Foreman grill. You get him some chicken breast, skinless, hopefully farm raised, right? You're hungry. Okay, here. crack open this Foreman grill and grill yourself some chicken.
You can do so much with it.
You can get lemon pepper. You can get Cajun. Mm-hmm. You can teach them whatever you want. That's not a hard thing. A chicken breast thaws out really quick. And then you teach them to think ahead. You're hungry. Okay, well, you should have took something out of the freezer before you left.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You got to be at work thinking about, oh, what I got to do to feed this person. You know how many women life is on hold because of their sons?
Yeah.
Their life is on hold. Hey, let's go to the movies after work. Oh, I can't. I got to go home and make sure he eat. How old is he? Oh, he's 14, 15. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you know what? And you people who think that your sons are not smart enough, let me tell you, go grab one of those video games and you try to figure out how to get to level 17. And I bet you any kind of money you're not going to be able to figure it out. These kids are smart. Yeah. They have more education than us. Mm-hmm. They're learning faster than us. But the thing that they're lacking is responsibility.
Yeah, real life situation.
There is no rule book on being a man. Not one. Mm-hmm. So if a woman says, "Oh, a man can teach a man how to be a man better," no, you totally can't, because he's rolling on his rule book. He might teach him to hate women.
Yeah.
He might teach him that women are supposed to get up and go get him some food instead of being self-sufficient. Yeah. A self-sufficient man, boy, is going to be a better product for society.
Yeah, better. Better in all ways, too.
Always.
Because I know when Kerry was 6, I was trying to play Batman. I don't play video games a lot, but I'm playing Batman Arkham Asylum, and I don't know what to do on this level, so I go to the bathroom and come back, and he's doing it. And he's never even played the game before. Yeah. I didn't know there was this stuff he was doing.
Right. Kids should be, I was ironing my own clothes.
Yeah.
I was, getting up. I didn't have no alarm clock. I don't think my mama has woke me up. My big sister has woke me up.
Yeah.
For years, go to school. My middle sister, really, kind of woke me up, but not really. My big sister did everything. She did all the cooking. She did all the stuff. But she also was a busy teenager.
Yeah.
So she didn't have time to be messing around with me. So I was on my own for a lot of stuff. Mom's had to work. She's gone early in the morning.
Yeah.
She's working double shift. She's doing everything, and then she's partying too. But she's doing everything that we got a roof over our head. Yeah. So this stuff, I had no choice. Mm-hmm. But I think because I had so much responsibility at a young age, it made me realize what responsibility was.
Yeah.
And you see that's why these young girls are having it so bad, because these boys are getting Jordans and Gucci belts. I remember I seen this little boy at the bus stop. He had on some True Religion jeans. He had on some Jordans. He had on a Gucci belt. He had on one of those big coats. The coats is like $500-$600. He had on some Gucci glasses and a hat, and he was going to high school.
Wow.
Right? And so I asked him, right? I'm like, dude, you hella fly. Like, where you work at? And he was like, oh, no, my mom's got all this. And I can understand, you want your kid to be fly and everything, and there's nothing wrong with it. I didn't buy my kids Jordans and stuff growing up. My daughter, she got a little bit of Jordans and stuff toward the end because, I was a little more established. But they got Adidas, they got stuff that was good for them, But you spend all this money on this kid. And so this dude, I was like, oh, what school you going to? He was like, oh, I ain't going to school today. I'm finna go kick it. I'm like, well, maybe if your clothes wasn't so fly, you wouldn't want to go kick it. Right. Maybe you wouldn't be so popular and you might just go to class.
That nigga was robbery ready.
I wanted to rob him.
He was a meal.
I was like, you was a come up.
Yeah, exactly.
Stripping you naked right now. I'm paid.
Man, you about $1,500. That's what I see.
Like, man, I'm at work and I ain't got that on me.
Yeah, I think I kind of the reason why we grew up and we're so responsible because we had to be. Because there's a girl actually at Morgan and Kerry school. She's about 7-8 years old. She takes the bus, wakes herself up, and her little brother, who's about 5 or 6, takes the bus at 7 in the morning, 2 buses, and gets to their school. So I see her, I wave at her every morning, and I'm thinking, damn, my kids don't take the bus by themselves. It's more, for me, it's like fear.
Mm-hmm.
But they were taught by their grandmother because grandmother is going blind. So she said, look, I'm going to have to teach these kids how to do it themselves because I can't get them up and take them to school because I'm blind. So
Right.
it was more out of necessity for her. And I'm disappointed in myself because I drive the bus.
Right.
My kids should know how to ride the bus.
Yeah.
But they don't. And it's kind of messed up. So I think my project for this year is to get them to be a little more self-sufficient. Because even I tell them to their faces, like, look, the more you do for yourself, the more time you allow me to have free time to think of other things to do for you. I mean, I might think like, hey, let's go to the snow this weekend since I ain't been so busy trying to do stuff for you.
Okay.
It's like I can give you more treats or I can teach you more stuff once you start learning things on your own.
And the thing is that whatever skills you give them is the skills they're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I know how to cook is only because this is what I was taught to cook. Now I can freestyle some shit at this point in the game, but my base is based on that. Yeah. And all the words I know how to spell is from all the time I was in trouble and my mama made me write lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my kids know them lines, boy.
So that's the worst punishment you can do for your kid. Next time they act up, you sit them down and you be like, don't move until you're right. I will not do something, something, something. Yeah. Those words for your little bad son who has ADD they'll be the only words he'll know how to spell.
Yeah.
So you might want to do it more than not.
Yeah, Kerry's real good at writing. He can write 100 lines in like 5 minutes. I mean, and not even the I, but the straight, like, he can get through that mug. I'd be like, damn, dude, you finished already? Yep. He'd be proud, too. Like, yep, finished it.
Yeah, I didn't get a beating.
Right, he's winning. Because I hate to hit him. I mean, I think Kerry probably got the last whooping I ever gave.
Right.
Because, he was doing so much. But with Morgan, it's like, talking to her, she's more disappointed in the talking. Because if I was to hit her, I feel like I was abusing her. Yeah. Because it would hurt her. It would break her heart for me to hit her.
Yeah. I whooped my daughter once, and I cried more than her.
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on, I hit her.
I came in the other room, and I was...
You made me have to hit you.
Yeah, I was devastated.
Crying like a cowardly lion.
Yeah, devastated.
But yeah, I need to teach them to be more self-sufficient because I was.
Yeah, and I mean, we were ridiculous. I mean, when it comes to being self-sufficient, wow. And so people like to throw out a stat that's not a true stat. They say, "Oh, well, times are more dangerous now than they were before." No, that's not true.
It was just
if you look at the era we grew up in, which was 80s,
crack era.
It's the crack era.
Yeah.
I mean, there were homicides, mass shootings, drive-bys, kidnaps, rapes, all that stuff still went on during that time.
And we walked past them on our 3 miles going to school.
I remember I was telling somebody when we lived in San Diego and we had to walk 2 miles to school.
Yeah.
But now that seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that was what everybody did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stream of kids walking home from school.
Yeah.
And it's that other part about being guilty. I know that part about it. If something did happen to your kid, you would feel like it was something that you could have prevented. Mm-hmm. I understand that. So you do have to put safeguards in effect. Cell phones, video cameras at home, friends.
Tell them to sit close to the driver on the bus.
Yeah, have the driver, I mean, there's things that you can do. But for these little boys, I knew a girl who, now speaking on this, her son had never went outside to play in their neighborhood. Mm. And it wasn't even a bad neighborhood. It was like San Leandro. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either.
Right.
But he literally, so every week, I'd be like, oh, what you doing Saturday? Oh, I got to find something for us to do. So every week, she had to find something for the kid to do. Mm. So they had to go to museums. So she basically was dating her son. She was scared, never let him stay over nobody else's house.
Wow.
Couldn't never spend the night over friends or family or cousins.
Yeah.
All you could do was, and so the kid, started to be weird.
Yeah, socially awkward.
His only interaction with kids was during school, which he was a little weird. So it was like a total disservice to the kid. Yeah. I'm not saying that certain things you need to have, right? If you're raising a man, right? Mm-hmm. You got to have a fight when you're a kid. Yeah. Because you realize you don't die.
Yeah, you have to know how to react.
You gotta can you grow up without one? Yeah, you're perfectly fine. But if you have that fight, then you realize that it's not so bad. Mm-hmm. You realize that unless you lose and it's real bad, but most times you survive your first fight. Yeah, and then you realize like, hey, there's nothing to be scared of. Mm-hmm. You know, I see so many dudes. It's like that era. That's why these dudes pick up guns and shoot and stuff.
Because they can't fight.
They can't fight. They don't know how to defend themselves. They don't. It's not even a concept they can relate to, because they have been cuddled by their parents. Yeah. You know. So.
Yeah, that's the thing that scares me, is that my daughter's been getting in a lot of interactions with, you know, friends and non-friends at school, and I was talking to her one day. I was like, you know, I feel so bad because one day you're gonna get punched in the face. I mean, and not to be mean, I was just telling her, you know, one day you're gonna get punched in the face, but I don't want it to happen. Right. So I try to teach her a little self-defense, and she's not scared of a fight, but she's a sweetheart. Like, you know, it's a group of girls that have tried to fight her before, and she stood there like, "What's up? Who's first?" And I was just thinking like, "Wow, I wish I could have been there." Like, 'cause that's a proud moment. Like, I ain't scared of you bitches.
You would have jumped in?
No, I would have watched. Oh. They would have jumped in.
I'd have jumped in.
One on one.
Yeah, I'd have jumped in. So here goes the next question I had. It was, can a woman raise a man? Now, this question sparked so much crap. Yeah, definitely. And so let's go. Girl 1. Hell yeah, I've done it. My sons are great men, never in jail, all graduated from high school and college. So she's saying, yes, a woman can raise a man.
But does that make you a man because you didn't go to jail and you went to college? I mean, you're still a man if you do all that.
Yeah, I think that does make you a man. If you don't go to jail, you graduate high school and college, you can consider, you could be a man.
There's plenty of men in jail.
Nah, them niggas. Nah. Girl 2 said, yes, but certain issues that come up that could be challenging for a boy because a woman don't know exactly the ins and outs of being a man. But I do believe a woman can raise a man to be a productive member of society.
With a little luck.
Yeah. What I said to that is, it's really no rule book on being a man, like you're just saying. Yeah. Most men don't, even if you're a single dad, or if every dad don't know how to be a dad. Yeah. Every dad isn't a good dad. There is some sacrifice that happens that you have to go through. Mm. Like, just because you have a penis doesn't make you a man, or it doesn't make you. Every teacher isn't a good teacher just because they went to college. Right. You know, so that's what I say to that. Girl 3, my personal belief is a man needs his father. However, there's great examples of women who raise great men. And I say to that, like, it's all about the parents. Yeah. If you have to teach the boy how your good qualities. Yeah. You know, you have to teach him right from wrong. You have to teach him empathy. You have to do that. Will your voice, he not listen to it? That might not happen, but he might not listen to anybody. Or does he respond better to a man? That could be the case. Yeah. Every case is different. Don't just throw blanket statements like a woman can't raise a man, or I can't raise my son because I'm not a man. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean anything. You got to do the best that you can do. Yeah. And give him the right stuff.
And then it depends on the kid too, because sometimes kids raise themselves.
There you go.
And it's like, you know, you be like, wow, you turned out great considering your background. Like,
I mean, I'm still amazed at my kids at times. They do stuff and I'd be like, damn, that's so advanced. Like, I didn't do that until I was this age. Yeah. I didn't do that, but they have a lot of freedom to be like, I push my kids to be independent at a very early age. Yeah. I push that. I'm like, no, I'm not finna do that for you. No, I mean, no. Once no becomes in your arsenal as a parent, you become a great parent.
Oh yeah, you gotta evenly distribute them no's.
Yeah, I shoot no's everything. Oh, I can.
I say no for the hell of it.
Yeah, I just wake up and say no.
Can I have something to eat? No.
I look at him and say no. Okay. Girl 4. She can teach him or prepare him to date. How to act in the presence of a woman. Open doors. Pull out chairs. I definitely did that with my sons. They are very respectful of women. All the way down to even when we go out, they come open the car door for me. Yes and no. A woman can do it, but there will only be so much she can do. Sometimes, some things you have to learn from a man.
Yeah. You may have to have some kind of role model, which I never had.
But I think that's I think that's a key factor. I mean, do you think a woman should teach a boy how to date, how to treat a woman? Like, I think so. Like, if she instills in him certain things that are mandatory, let's say she gives him a list of 10 things.
Right.
If he takes 3 or 4 of them, then he'll probably be better than most people.
Yeah.
Like, I would never teach a boy to always open up a door for anybody.
Right.
Because I don't always open the door for nobody.
Yeah,
if you get to the door before me, open the door.
Open the motherfucking door. I think also if the woman he deals with has to deserve these things too. Mm-hmm. Because I've opened the door for a lot of women. Like, you let them in the car first. If she don't reach over and open your door too, why the fuck am I opening your door? I mean, you're wasting my time now. I shouldn't be fucking with you because you're not reciprocating the polite nature that I have. And all women don't deserve to be treated like women because some of them actually have no couth and no manners, and they just bitches. they don't respond to none of that. It's like, wow, you opened the door for me. I've never had that. Well, shit, let me stop. Them niggas obviously knew something. I got the wrong one.
I done messed up. So, girl 5. No, I tried it. It's just not possible. Thanks God that I had exes who loved my boys like they were their own and still kept in contact with them and gave them advice and pointers.
Wow. I mean, I'd be offended by that as a son, that these couple dudes that my mom used to fuck keep talking to me about stuff I need to do. It's like, you ain't even in the picture no more, nigga. I mean, why keep fielding these calls from these 5 niggas? Shit. You got some money on my Gucci belt, nigga? No, but that's good though. They kept in touch, but you only need one of them. You don't need 2, 3 of them unless you're getting a lot of Christmas gifts.
What I say, it takes a village to raise a kid, and people have to. If you feel like your son needs that kind of connection, there's ways you can do it. Sports, Big Brother program. It doesn't have to be like, you are in a relationship with somebody. Yeah. There's churches, there's pastors, there's youth leaders. Yeah. There's so many ways that you could go about. When I say it takes a village. There's so many ways that you could go about, doing it, except for, there's only one way.
Yeah. You know what else is a good teacher of growing up and being a man? Situations. Mm-hmm. Like when I was walking to school by myself that time, and I had some maroon shoestrings in my cousin's shoes that I was wearing, and the guy made me take them out. That's an indicator of how things are going to be. You need those situations too to shape you and tell you what not to do also.
Right.
Because he took my shoestrings out of my shoes because he was a Crip. And I had, a form of red in my shoes. He's like, you disrespected my set, cuz. And so he reached down and took my shoestrings out. So I walked to school with no shoestrings in my cousin's shoes. And from that moment on, I thought to myself, this is what people go through. I got to learn to either defend myself or to walk the long way.
Right.
So those situations also teach you. Kids need to go through that. I mean, not that in particular, but situations where you have a choice to make.
Oh, yeah, and it could be it could be the choice between, like, right and wrong, so to speak.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as somebody is trying to get you to do something.
Yeah, because I was watching a movie and this dude was a high school star. You know, it's a typical movie. He was a high school basketball star. His two friends knew this lady's house that was out of town, and they was gonna case the place and steal her stuff. So they convinced him to go. And when I thought of it, when they convinced him to go, I'm like, this is stupid. Why would he's got a bright future ahead of him. Why is he going to rob a house? And eventually, they in the house, the silent alarm went off.
Right.
He was upstairs, the two dudes downstairs got arrested, and the cop came upstairs and saw him hiding on the floor. But since he was the neighborhood star, he was like, okay, the house is empty, it's cool. So he got away with it.
Right.
But that doesn't happen everywhere.
Right.
He could have been laying down somewhere, the cop felt threatened, and he got shot and died, and that's the end of his story.
Right.
So I think things like peer pressure, I didn't have to deal with because I didn't deal with peer pressure because I didn't consider it peer pressure. When they said stuff like, we're going to smoke some weed, Kerry, I want you to smoke, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, no work for me.
Just didn't want to.
Yeah, I don't feel like it. So I think you have to teach your kids how to deal with peer pressure and stuff like that too. It's like they can still be your friend if they're doing bad shit as long as you're not doing it with them. It's like, hey, I'm gonna stay here. Y'all go ahead and do what you want to do. I'll catch y'all later.
That's kept me out of so much trouble. It's ridiculous.
Right.
You know, playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You just stay out the way.
Yeah.
And
save your life.
Yeah, save your life. So all in all, to wrap up what basically my point or whatever is, I feel like a woman.
I feel like a raisin inside. I feel like a raisin.
I feel like a woman can raise a man. I really feel like anybody can raise a man, but it has to be people who have the kid's best interest at heart.
Definitely.
It has to be a man can raise a good dude. A woman could raise a good dude. A single mom could raise a good dude. A single pop could raise a good dude. I think it's your attitude going in as the parent, and I think love is a big factor. Some people, if you're a woman who's trying to raise a man and your son is just bad, sometimes you just have badass kids.
Yeah.
It's nothing was gonna help him.
It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I know some people that they could have had 20 fathers, and that wouldn't have helped them one bit. They was just bad people.
That's just your destiny. Because I think I made it too easy on my mother. I mean, I didn't give her no problems at all. I think if I would have, acted up a little bit, it would have saved her from some problems.
Yeah, because then she would have had to focus on you.
Right. It's like, wait a minute. You skipping school. I'm going to have to walk you to school or whatever the case may have been. But, even she says that. She'll talk to me now and be like, you didn't give me no problems at all. I was like, wow, that was so good. But for me, it was so bad.
Yeah, because, kind of let him off the hook.
Yeah.
So, man, but all in all, dude, let's wrap this up. What do you think, if we're just going to say, like, what's the number one thing you would want to message you want to give to these people about dating their sons?
I think it's that you have to establish mother-child, parent-child. You can't treat this child like they're your equal. Because, I don't know if we have to go into a part two, but I wanted to say that if you're having an argument with your child, which is preposterous already.
Yeah,
you
ridiculous.
should never argue with a child.
Right.
And they're talking to you a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think to yourself, why is my child talking to me like this?
Right.
Because they think they're your equal when you're always trying to appease the child.
Okay.
That's not what kind of parenting that I advocate, and that's not what I do.
Right.
I will tell you what's going on, and that's just what it is. If you're sad, if you're angry, that's just what you have to deal with. I'm not going to come and try to cheer you up because I just told you something and you got upset at it. Hey, it is what it is, motherfucker. You do what you want to after that.
Right.
But I think the point I want to get across is focus more on parenting than being your child's friend.
Right.
They're gonna have plenty of friends. They got plenty of friends now.
Right.
And I'll say it in a minute. I don't care about being your friend. I'm your daddy.
Right.
And I'm gonna always be your daddy. But friends come and go. So I think focus on being your child's parent, and that'll save you and them a lot of trouble.
Definitely. I think that if you take the attitude that you just want to give your kid as much knowledge as possible, and you want them to be as independent as possible. If your kid's over 8 years old, stop waking them up. But they need to set their own alarms.
Yeah.
Start with little things like that, and you will be surprised at how much the kid is gonna gravitate toward that. You know, the more responsibility you give them, kids love that. I mean, you gotta think about it, their brains are still developing.
Yeah.
So if your son is 13 and you don't trust him cooking, that's a major red flag that you've done some things wrong.
Yeah, you've handicapped him at this point.
And we focused on men more than women because we're guys. I'm not going to sit here and start to go into the female aspect of this, but we will on another show, and we'll do guys who are, daddy's girls. You're ruining it for us guys.
Right. Oh my goodness, are you really?
And the other piece to this is that the reason you got to also understand what dude you're putting out in this world is because if you have bought him his shoes and he's wearing designer shoes and you go pick up his food and you calling him your baby and you calling him, man of the house. You're not a man of the house until you pay a bill.
Right.
You're not a man. You're a kid in the house.
Yeah, his balls ain't even dropped yet.
If you start doing these things, when this kid gets a certain kind of way, are you curious why these young dudes are using women the way that they do? Are you curious why their marriage is in a major decline right now? Are you surprised by the music? Every young rapper is talking about bitches and hoes and strippers. Like, where do you think they're getting this idea that a woman is supposed to give to them? They're getting it at home. If your kid has this, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So we have to start to correct this. I doubt if there's many men out there who have that kind of attitude who has been ironing and cooking their own food since they were 10 and 11 years old.
Right.
I doubt if they have that attitude towards women.
Yeah.
I doubt that any dude who has been responsible his whole life by his parents, I doubt it very seriously if he's sleeping on on his homeboy couch right now. Right. I really doubt it. So hey, that's our show for today. We went a little long, but we got a whole bunch more to give y'all next time.
Right.
Hey, till next week.
Right on.
Peace.